The arena lights flicker. The crowd's roar echoing through the steel beams overhead. The air is thick with sweat and adrenaline. Carmella stands in the ring, her body aching, chest heaving. Across from her, Jordan Cross smirks, rolling her shoulders, completely unfazed. The referee steps between them, but Carmella barely hears him. Her heartbeat pounds in her ears like a war drum. Carmella, muttering to herself, steadying her breath, stay sharp, stay standing. Jordan chuckles, taking a step forward, her voice dripping with mockery. Jordan, you still think this is about who's stronger? Who wants it more? She tilts her head, eyes glinting under the spotlights. Jordan, smirking. This ring ain't about heart. Carmella, it's about knowing when to step on someone's throat and never let go. The bell rings. Jordan moves fast, too fast. A vicious right hook to Carmella's jaw. A knee to the ribs. A whip against the ropes that sends her sprawling onto the mat with a sickening thud. The crowd gasps. Carmella groans, rolling onto her side, gripping her ribs. Jordan circles her like a predator, flicking sweat from her fingers. Jordan grinning, whispering down at her, "Go ahead, stay down. It's easier." Carmella clenches her teeth. Her fingers dig into the canvas. A flash of memory, her father's voice, harsh and cold. In a dimly lit gym from years ago, Carmella's father, echoing in her mind, "Get up, or they'll bury you alive." Carmella breathes in sharply. The pain is unbearable, but she pushes up, hands first, then knees, then feet. Jordan's smirk fades slightly. Jordan, low voice, eyes narrowing. "Still fighting? You never learn." Carmella doesn't answer. She just moves. A sudden, explosive counterattack. A spinning kick to Jordan's ribs, followed by a brutal elbow to the side of her head. Jordan stumbles. The crowd gasps. Carmella doesn't stop. She hooks Jordan's arm, twisting her into a devastating slam. The impact shakes the ring. Jordan gasps for breath, her hand instinctively reaching for the ropes. But Carmella isn't done. She drags Jordan back to the center of the ring, locking eyes with her. This is it. She hoists Jordan up and delivers the last shot, a finisher so clean, so unforgiving, that the crowd explodes in shock. Jordan crashes. The referee slides in. Referee, counting fast, slapping the mat. 1, 2, 3. The bell rings. The match is over. The arena erupts. But Carmella doesn't react. She just kneels there, staring at Jordan's lifeless expression, the weight of everything settling in. The referee tries to lift her hand in victory, but she pulls away, stepping back, breath ragged. Jordan shifts slightly, barely lifting her head. Despite the pain, she smirks just a little. Jordan, whispering, voice raw, yet amused. "You think you won? This business isn't about winning. It's about what you lose along the way." Carmella stiffens. The crowd is chanting her name, but it sounds distant. She looks at them, their faces blurred in the arena lights. And suddenly she understands. Jordan isn't wrong. The fight never ends. The moment you think you've won, the business finds a new way to take a piece of you. Her fists tighten at her sides. The screen fades to black. The locker room is empty. Silence replaces the deafening roar of the crowd. Carmella sits on the wooden bench, hunched forward, wrists resting on her knees. Sweat still clings to her skin, her body aching, bruises forming. The championship belt, her prize, her supposed validation, rests beside her. But she doesn't touch it. She just stares at it. The door creaks open. Jason the Hammer Reyes steps in. Slow, Measured, he leans against the lockers, arms crossed, watching her. Jason, you don't look like someone who just won the biggest match of her career. Carmella exhales sharply, shaking her head. Carmella, because it doesn't feel like I won. Jason chuckles, but there's no humor in it. He steps forward, tapping the belt lightly with his fingers. Jason, this ain't what makes you a winner. Kid, it's just metal and leather. It don't mean nothing if you're empty inside. Carmella finally looks up, her eyes searching his. Carmella, quietly, then why the hell did I fight so hard for it? Jason sighs, running a hand over his face. Jason, because you had something to prove. We all do. But the thing no one tells you is the proving never stops. It eats at you, piece by piece, until there's nothing left but the fight itself. Carmella leans back against the lockers, staring at the ceiling, her breath slow, controlled. Carmella, Jordan said something before I pinned her. She said it's not about winning. It's about what you lose. Jason is silent for a long moment. Then he sits down beside her, his voice low, almost a whisper. Jason, she ain't wrong. Carmella closes her eyes. Flashbacks hit her like a tidal wave. The pain, the betrayals, the nights she pushed through injuries, the friends she lost along the way, the people who once cheered for her but now chant someone else's name. The price of the ring, the price of survival. Was it worth it? Her hands clench into fists. She opens her eyes, exhaling, shaking off the doubt creeping in. Maybe she doesn't have the answer. Maybe she never will. But one thing is certain. This business may take everything from her, but she'll make damn sure it never takes her spirit. She grabs the belt, finally gripping it tight. But this time, it's not about proving anything to anyone else. It's about owning what she's become. Carmella softly, to herself, almost like a vow. Let it take what it wants. I'm not leaving. Jason nods, a small, almost knowing smile on his lips. He pats her shoulder before standing, heading for the door. Jason, then welcome to the real fight. Kid, the door swings shut behind him. Carmella stays there, alone, the weight of her decision settling in. She looks down at the belt one last time before placing it over her shoulder. The camera lingers as she stands up, staring at her reflection in the mirror. This is who she is now. This is who she has to be. Lights fade to black. The arena is empty now. The ring stands in silence. The spotlights dimmed. The echoes of the night's chaos still lingering in the air. Carmella walks down the long hallway, her championship belt slung over her shoulder. But her steps are slow, heavy, like she's carrying something much more than just gold and leather. She stops at the exit door, her fingers hovering over the handle. Behind her, the faint sound of another match being promoted on the arena speakers fills the space. The next big fight, the next big name. The cycle never stops. Carmella smirks bitterly, shaking her head. Carmella, whispering to herself, and just like that, they move on. She exhales and pushes the door open. A rush of cool night air greets her. The city lights stretch ahead bright, indifferent. She steps out into the night, walking past posters of herself plastered on the walls, already starting to peel at the edges. A shadow moves behind her. Jason the Hammer Reyes leans against the side of the building, arms crossed, watching her. She pauses, glancing at him. Jason, already thinking about the next fight. Carmella chuckles under her breath but doesn't answer. She shifts the belt on her shoulder. Carmella, it never stops. Does it? Jason shakes his head, a knowing smile forming. Jason, nope. And the second you start thinking you own this business, that's when it owns you. A long beat of silence between them. The distant sound of sirens, of cars rushing by, of life moving forward. Carmella looks down at the championship belt. Once her dream. Now just another step in a never-ending war. She looks up, her expression unreadable. But there's something different in her eyes now. Not just fire, not just determination, but acceptance. Carmella, let it try. She turns, walking toward the street, her figure disappearing into the neon-lit cityscape. The camera lingers for a moment, then fades to black. In the ring, you fight to win, but in this business, the real fight is surviving what it takes from you. The screen fades to black, the credits roll,